I have a question. How much do black girls pay for braids? I'm so curious on what the price of the maintenance of that is. Because I just saw someone on Instagram post, they was in LA, but it was like, are there any braiders that charge less than $400? Do you not have to get those braids redone every 3 weeks? $400 on hair every 3 weeks?
Maybe I'm too woke, but immediately no. Mind your damn business. First of all, I notice when white people who are either racist and or they're not around black people a lot, they emphasize every freaking syllable of the word black. They say it exactly how they would say the N-word, because y'all know when racist people say N-word, they make sure you hear that ER. That's how white people who don't be around black people say black. Hey, black girls, black. Are you cool? Why do you give a damn what we do about our hair? For one, you could literally look up yourself how much braids are. Considering you've seen a post about braids and the cost, look it up your freaking self. If you just care that much. So y'all are paying that every 3 weeks? You know that we're not paying that every 3 weeks. You know that. You've never met a black, or if you're around black people, you don't see black girls get their hair in the same braided style back to back to back to back to back. Very seldom. Please be serious. You actually don't care. White women literally spend 2 bands to get their hair bleached, to get balayage, to get extensions that don't even blend. Like, and there's women in the comments, black women, who think, oh, she's just curious. No, y'all are infantilizing this girl. This is a microaggression. She's being passive aggressive. She don't actually care. She's not being curious. And if she is being curious, look it up your damn self. She's using y'all to get engagement. I'm just an innocent white girl who doesn't know anything, and I just want to know, why? Do you plan on getting braids? Like, immediately no.
I don't think as a black person you can complain about racism or sexism or Islamophobia if you have homophobic tendencies. And you might fight back and say, no, I don't hate people who are homosexual. I just don't think it's natural, and I don't want them around my children, and I don't want them this and that, and I don't want them around me. But that is homophobia. Kind of like if I were to say, oh, I don't hate black people, I just don't want them around my children. I don't want them around me. I don't think it's natural. Or if you're sexist and you're like, oh, I don't hate women, I just don't want them around me. You know what I mean? It just keeps going. But for some reason, when it comes to homophobic tendencies, many of us Africans and black people tend to look away, and that is mainly because of colonial influence. But I'm not going to blame everything about colonialism, right? We are still responsible for the actions that is happening in our continent. But prior to colonialism, nobody was going around shunning people because of their homosexuality. And believe it or not, people were homosexual even before Christianity. So they existed. And why I'm saying this is that there are a lot of anti-LGBTQ laws springing up in Africa. Ghana, for example, a few months ago, they introduced an anti-LGBTQ law that would ban LGBTQ communities from marketing or sponsorship. And it would also make it so that if you are caught with your, let's say, for example, if somebody says, oh, that person is gay, and they have some evidence to back that, then they would be put in jail. It could go up to 3 years. This doesn't help your electric bill. This doesn't make your economy any better. But this bill has been passed in Parliament, and it is waiting to be signed by the President of Ghana, John Mahama. And it is the same thing that happened in Uganda in 2023, when an anti-LGBTQ law conference was held in May. And when that occurred, just a few months after that, or a few days after that, the country passed their first anti-LGBTQ law, the harshest ones, and that is death penalty or life imprisonment if you're anything other than heterosexual. Like I said, this is not going to help the economy. But there's one thing that these two instances have in common, and that is a group called the Family Watch International. And this group is an evangelical Christian group from America. And why I'm mentioning them is that they have been sponsoring or pushing anti-LGBTQ laws in Africa because they couldn't do so in America They couldn't push anti-LGBTQ laws in America, so they're trying to push it in Africa. They are classed as a hate group in certain parts of the world. Literally a hate group. But when they come to Africa, they can sit with politicians, they can sit with lawmakers, and they can push laws that Ugandans and Ghanaians may have to follow if John Mahama signs onto this bill. So why I'm saying this is that there is a homophobic tendency in Africa. It does really get influenced by colonial period, but now it is our responsibility to stop it. We can't complain about being marginalized because of our race or religion, and then we do the same to another person. Oh, it's my turn now to marginalize another human being. So it's really harsh when I see Ugandans who are saying, I love my country, but my country hates me because I chose the wrong person to love. So I hope you can help spread this.
New interview, same question, same response. Katsai sat down for an interview and they were asked about Manon's hiatus, and this is the question, and this is how Lara responded.
In the documentary, you also briefly talked about Manon's hiatus. The documentary really shows your friendship and your genuine sisterhood. Have you all been able to kind of stay in touch with her a little bit while she's on hiatus?
Sure. She's it's not our place to say anything about the hiatus, but we love her and we're really glad that in this movie, of course she's a part of it, and we're so happy that all 6 of us are being reflected in that, and the true journey of Cat's Eye is being seen. And I think the fans are gonna be really happy and enjoy that part so much.
It is the exact same question from the interview at the premieres. The exact same question, their exact same response. I expected nothing new, nothing different. If it's not your place to speak on her hiatus, why were you speaking on her allegedly facing racism? If it was not your place to speak on her hiatus, how are you speaking on the reason why she left? Not being due to racism. You're not your place, not your place, not your place. Hybes Geffen, do better. Stop putting these girls out to dry for the responses when you're giving them the same statement for every single question, where it looks like they're visibly deflecting the question because she didn't even answer the question. Every time a reporter asks them, they give the same PR statement response. Our journey, the 6 of us, is not our place. It's annoying to regurgitate the same thing over and over again. And I'm just annoyed seeing it. To hang out with someone who invalidated your group mate's blackness in the name of praising an Indian woman for being Black girl representation is crazy. I would honestly say the day that people started looking at Danny weird was the day that she went to go have lunch with Naisha. Because I remember logging on the internet that day and everyone was walking Danny. And this is when OT6 was still alive and well. At that time, I defended her. I was like, probably Manon knows about it and, she's cool with it. Come to find out, Manon started moving pictures quietly of her and Danny off of her accounts because it's weird. What Naisha said was no small thing. It turned into a meme. Black girl being black in the middle or whatever. It turned into a whole meme because it was genuinely so stupid that Naisha had to put out a visual statement, not even a written statement. She put out a video statement because she knew how stupid she sounded. Oh, we talked about this, Lara. You're going to have to hold it down for the black girls as well as the brown girls. What do you mean? Lara is not black. And now all of you are now cozying up to Naisha? It's strange. The girls move in a strange way, and everyone who points it out is not automatically a hater of Danny. It's just weird. It's like seeing your friend hang out with someone who called you a cunt behind your back. In fact, it wasn't even behind your back. It was in public. It was in your comment section. It was in someone else's comment section. You saw it. We saw it. 5 other people in our group saw it. And now you're buddying up with her. You're our besties. Y'all link up in and outside of events. And the public is just expected to overlook these things and look past it because it's not a big deal. Honestly, it's a big deal. If you invalidate someone's blackness as a black person just because they got something that you wish you got, that's messy. It genuinely is. So I would say yes, Danny's hate train started with the Naisha lunch. It grew with the Playboy Cardi statements. It got worse with Papa Avanzini's words. And now it's going to get even worse because she keeps associating herself with Naisha. She's doing it to herself. She's doing it to herself. And I'm not saying go send hate to Danny. When she does get hate online from wherever else, I just can't come online and say, oh my God, the Danny hate is becoming absurd. She put herself in those shoes. Comfortability of those shoes doesn't help because they went out of their way to invalidate Manon's racism and the racism she faced once again in that interview that they did a while back. And they have been doing it ever since. They invalidated the racism she faced in the interview. They're hanging out with people who are also invalidating that she is a Black person. And you want me or expect me to understand or believe that this has nothing to do with racism? Yikes. I'm not that stupid.
I have a question. How much do Black girls pay for braids? I'm so curious on what the price of the maintenance of that is. Because I just saw someone on Instagram post, they was in LA, but was like, are there any braiders that charge less than $400? Do you not have to get those braids redone every 3 weeks? $400 on hair every 3 weeks?
Maybe I'm too woke, but immediately no. Mind your damn business. First of all, I notice when white people who are either racist and or they're not around Black people a lot, they emphasize every freaking syllable of the word Black. They say it exactly how they would say the N-word, because y'all know when racist people say N-word, they make sure you hear that ER. That's how white people who don't be around Black people say Black. Hey, Black girls, Black. Are you cool? Why do you give a damn what we do about our hair? For one, you could literally look up yourself how much braids are. Considering you've seen a post about braids and the cost, look it up your freaking self. If you just care that much. So y'all are paying that every 3 weeks? You know that we're not paying that every 3 weeks. You know that. You've never met a Black, or if you're around Black people, you don't see Black girls get their hair in the same braided style back to back to back to back to back. Very seldom. Please be serious. You actually don't care. White women literally spend 2 bands to get their hair bleached, to get balayage, to get extensions that don't even blend. Like, and there's women in the comments, Black women, who think, oh, she's just curious. No, y'all are infantilizing this girl. This is a microaggression. She's being passive aggressive. She don't actually care. She's not being curious. And if she is being curious, look it up your damn self. She's using y'all to get engagement. I'm just an innocent white girl who doesn't know anything. And I just want to know, why? Do you plan on getting braids? Like, immediately no.
I mean, I doubt this is going to shock anyone, but it's being reported that patients are refusing to be treated by non-white staff as the NHS is reporting a shocking rise in racism. I mean, yeah, let's be real here. Nobody is surprised that this is happening. Here are just some of the examples listed in the report. Some patients always complain about the color of skin of people attending them, said one worker. One radiographer spoke of patients describing healthcare staff as dirty foreigners. Another said, I have witnessed a colleague being called a monkey by a patient. A white man allegedly refused to let sonographers scan his pregnant wife, telling the staff, I don't want anyone from an ethnic background touching my woman. And another patient refused to let a Black radiographer perform their chest x-ray as, quote, Black people scare me. Look, I'm not being funny, but if you are a racist in A&E and you feel that you are in a position to refuse care from somebody on the basis of the color of their skin, clearly your condition is not as bad as you are making it out to be. So why don't you give up your spot to someone that isn't a racist shitbag and wait for a white medical worker to take care of you, who I'm sure will be thrilled to look after you, especially when they find out you've been racially abusing their colleagues. Disgusting pieces of shit. As I said at the start, it's not a surprise that we are reading this, because when the British political media class is using similar language about immigrants and people who are not white and British, it legitimizes it in some people's eyes. They feel that it's acceptable to speak about people in this way and also to their faces. It's disgusting, and these people need to be called out for what they are: racists.
Well, and welcome to today's episode of Spotting Undercover Racism. You see, there's a video that's been circulating as of late where a white woman put a question on display and people are breaking it down about the clue. What made their ears perk to know that it was undercover racism, boo, emphasis on a certain word. But as for me, being a white woman in the South, I'm gonna show you all 3 clues that should have let you know it was racist from the go. Now, this is the white woman, dear, and this is the question that she asked. And while we're breaking down the fact that she emphasized the word Black, that was clue number 3, that it was undercover racism. Clue number 2 was the fact that she used this pronoun. Right? The fact that she used a pronoun where she didn't need a pronoun. Do you Black girls? Do you Black girls? That was clue number 2. Because I live in the South, and trust me, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. When it comes to other undercover racism, they always say, you blacks, you Muslims, you immigrants, you gays. Don't they? But let's go back to the question and let me show you clue number 1 from the jump start that it was racism, hun. What does she have in her hand as she's making this video? Her phone. And what do you have on your phone? The internet. And what does the internet provide for you? Search engines. And what do you use search engines for? Looking shit up and asking questions. So instead of taking the phone in her hand and Googling, what is the average cost for braids in the black community? She opened up her social media app to ask that in a very racist way. She never had to ask that question to the black community in the first fucking place. It was racist from Jump Street. You see what I'm saying, baby? Yeah. That was clue fucking 1, that she even asked the question in the first place. Clue number 2 was she put a pronoun where it didn't fucking need to be, boo. And clue number 3 was she emphasized the word fucking black a little bit too much, honey. Class dismissed.